Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, surging sparks, it shows absolutely no sign of slowing down. I thought it would rise up, but I didn't think it would go up in price as a booster box this quickly. Man, it's gone crazy, hasn't it? Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Michael and I do Pokemon investing content. And if you're returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're a member of the channel, great job. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Anyway, let's move on to the topic at hand. Surging sparks, nudging $200 a booster box on TCG Player. Down here in Australia, it was only literally a week ago. I jumped on and grabbed another half a dozen cases. I wish I grabbed half a dozen cases. Half a dozen booster boxes. I pretty much cleaned out a little store for 235 Australian, which is, probably about 155 to 160 US. And all of a sudden, within a week, they're up to north of 300 Australian, and we're nudging $200 a booster box. So let's talk through that. Let's talk through the future. But I just wanted to start off by premising the fact that, if you're new to the hobby, if you're new to Pokemon investing, or even if you've got a little bit or a lot of experience in it, which I'm sure a lot of you guys and girls that watch this channel do, it's not just an endless supply. It's not just this conveyor belt that just keeps turning up in shops. It's not like a vending machine full of Coca-Cola where if you run out, you instantly go, please give me some more. Bring me some more Coca-Cola bottles so I can sell them to my customers inside Subway or wherever it might be that you're selling Coca-Cola. It doesn't quite work like that. The fact of the matter is there was essentially a finite amount of booster boxes made, and they've all gone through the distribution channel. People have put in their predicted numbers, or basically everyone said, I imagine, give me as many Surging Sparks booster boxes as you possibly can. And the fact of the matter is most places have sold out. If you log on to big box retailers online, if you go into local shops, generally speaking, Surging Sparks booster boxes have sold out. And you can't just click your fingers and say to your distributor, please give me some more so I can sell more because they're very high in demand. It just doesn't work like that. So what we're left with is a scenario where they're sitting on the open market. And I want to talk you through the fact of I suppose, a little scenario that I've talked about a fair few times on this channel about how a booster box rises in price, because it doesn't just choose to. It doesn't just magically day by day go up by $1. It's not exactly how it works. So I want to talk you through that. But to, I suppose, finalize the previous point about the fact that, most stores have sold out of these booster boxes and they're getting harder and harder to find already. There's no extra stock on the market. As a store, like I was saying, it's not like bottles of Coca-Cola where you can just say, fill my fridge back up. There's a finite amount out there. And at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any sort of extra additional reprint coming, whether that's a small wave, a big wave. That's not to say it's not coming. It could well. No one has a crystal ball. We can't sit here and go, there's going to be a reprint in June. I can tell you that right now. We just don't know. I mean, there's probably every chance it's going to be reprinted. It's super popular. I don't know why you wouldn't as the Pokemon comes international. It's basically money for jam. But, there's also some red hot sets around the corner with Prismatic Evolutions and a Rocket set and a potential Gym Series set. So anyway. Let's talk about this concept that I've mentioned a few times, and that is why the price goes up. So why has Surging Sparks spiked so much recently? Now, let's work on the fact of $150. Okay, let's say on TCG Player or other websites, people are listing it for $150. And, maybe one website sells out, and maybe it's a pretty big website, and then another one sells out, and another one sells out, and another one sells out, and then we go to, the open market, so to speak, and we're sitting on TCG Player or eBay, whatever the site might be, and let's say there's 10 boxes left across 3 different sellers for $150, and then we move to $152. And there's, 14 boxes at that price. And the next cheapest price is $155. And there's 20 boxes at that price. Essentially what happens is a new floor to the market gets reset. So as those 10 boxes that were $150 sell out, we then move to the 14 boxes at $152. And once those sell out, we then move to the 155 price. And as those sell out, you get the idea. We start getting this flow-on effect. And to show you some numbers, This is just the last month off TCG Player. There's been 3,801 booster boxes sold off TCG Player of Surging Sparks in the last month, with an average day sale of 123 boxes per day. And look, it's not showing any real sign of slowing down. It's probably not going to have that massive day that it had 2 weeks ago on TCG Player, as you can see on this graph. But yesterday, there was also, on the 20th of November, 103 booster boxes sold off TCG Player. So the average for the month, 123. Yesterday, 103. So it's not like it's dropping to 50 or 60 boxes now that we hit this new floor. It's still going. Maybe, we might start seeing daily sales of 80 or 80, 70. But at the moment, it's not really showing any sign of slowing down. And all it's going to do is reset the floor to that market. Like, it's simple supply and demand metrics. What will happen inevitably if we're at, what are we at now? $198.50 a booster box. If there's 10 on there at that price and 103 are selling in a day, maybe the next cheapest is $199, then, 201 and 202 and 204. And before we know it, in 3 days' time, we're already up to $210 a box. Like, that's how quickly this set could continue to rise in price if there's not a drop-off in demand. And even if there is a slight drop-off in demand, it's probably going to see a slighter increase in price. That's just the basic supply and demand metrics. Now, I suppose with all this in mind, where's it going to go? We're still over a month away from Christmas. And the other side of the coin when it comes to this booster box, and this is what I want to touch on in a minute, is the demand side of it. We still haven't got another booster box set coming out until, end of first quarter, start of second quarter next year. With Prismatic Evolutions will not have a booster box. That is a holiday set. It's going to be Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, 3-pack blisters, booster bundles, collection boxes, tins, but there is no booster box. Previous booster box set we saw was Stellar Crown, which that sold fantastically well, considering, in my opinion, how mediocre the set is. Okay, the chase card's decent to look at. It's a legendary. You've got 2 absolutely gorgeous cards in the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle. Other than that, there's not a great deal inside that set. And look, that's the thing about Surging Sparks. It gets so much controversy. Some people are saying it is so overhyped. And this is what I want to chat about. Maybe it is. Maybe it is overhyped. But what else are you going to buy? Like, Stellar Crown was, well, it seems like only yesterday, but it was, 2 months ago. And we're not getting another booster box for 4 months. Like, this set, if it doesn't get reprinted in the next 4 months, before the next booster box set comes out, this could extremely quickly run up to $300. And the last sets that we've really seen that, and this is speaking from Australian experience, I can't really speak to the US, but I imagine it followed some sort of a similar trend, was, and a lot of people ask me this, I wasn't around the hobby when Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars come out. That's what a lot of people tell me. What was it like? It was like this. The booster boxes for Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars rose up so quickly and so rapidly. Evolving Skies got a pretty small reprint and extra stock here in Australia, which dropped it from 300. It was like 350 Australian a couple of months after release, and it dropped it back down to about 220 Australian. That's when I bought in at the 220 Australian mark, which is about 150 US, but then it just quickly shot back up and shot up quickly. So it's a really good sign, I think, when there's natural demand for a product like Surging Sparks. If it's shooting up this quickly, even if it does get reprinted, depending on the size of the reprint, it could be absorbed relatively quickly. It could not even really make much of a dent on the market. Maybe it drops back down to 150 US a box. Maybe it drops back down to 120 US a box. But given the popularity, it's probably going to rebound very, very quickly. History tells us that if a set is super, super popular and rises so rapidly, as long as it's natural demand, not this artificial sort of stimulus check demand, everyone's stuck inside demand that sets like Vivid Voltage saw. But, good sets like Lost Origin, that's just a good, solid Pokemon card set. Reprints knocked it back down a little bit, but it shot back up in price very, very quickly. So I wouldn't be afraid when it comes to Surging Sparks and reprints happening. Also gives you a chance to buy boxes a little bit cheaper. But on that, and the set being, overhyped and is it a good set, I get such 50-50 comments down in in the comment section of my videos, and even emails sent out to me. Some people saying, it's so overhyped. It doesn't deserve, the Pikachu is such a weak looking card. And look, at the end of the day, like, I do like the cards and I do like looking at the cards, but ultimately from an investment standpoint, does it matter that much if the booster box is doing what it's doing? I don't really, I do have opinions on it, but I don't really want to get into them in this video. But, like I was saying, some people have such, I suppose, negative opinions of the set. It's a one-trick pony. It's got the Pikachu and that's it. Well, yeah, but it's also got the Latias, which is a really nice card. It's also got Alolan Exeggutor. It's got the Gold Pikachu. It's got Hydreigon. It's got, Lissy's Appeal. There's plenty of chase cards inside this set north of $50, which I don't think we've really seen from a booster box set inside the Scarlet and Violet era yet. And then there's, of course, the bandwagon that'll say the opposite. I shouldn't call them bandwagon. It's more community members. It's certainly not bandwagon. But, there's plenty of community members that, defend the set and say it's absolutely amazing. Look, personally, and again, I said I wouldn't really get into this, I think it's an A-tier set. I don't think it's an S-tier set. It doesn't even come close. It doesn't scratch the surface on Evolving Skies. But it's an A-tier set. It's a really, really solid set. I think it's every bit as good, if not, this could be a little bit controversial, if not maybe a touch better than Lost Origin. I think it's a really, really solid set. I think Lost Origin's Trainer Gallery maybe beats the illustration rares from Surging Sparks, but, Pikachu, Hydreigon, Lissy's Appeal, up against like Giratina, Aerodactyl. I feel like it's probably on par with the Lost Origin, and the demand for it, like we can see from this price, is absolutely crazy. I just think it's amazed me how quickly it shot up in price. I didn't think it would, and it shows no sign of slowing down. So, hey, full steam ahead, eh? If you're sitting on heaps of booster boxes, we're all watching our inventory rise in price very, very rapidly at the moment. And that's the other thing, before, just to finalize the video, should you sell, should you not? If you bought at 120 on average because you bought a bunch of cases and you got them at, pre-release, and currently you're sitting on basically $200 a box, so you've close to doubled the price of them. Look, I wouldn't. My personal take is I wouldn't sell now, and I'm always in it for the long run. It doesn't bother me whether, I don't really. I look at the data to present it to you guys because, some people might look at it, come across my channel every video. Some people might come across my channel once a week or once a month. I like presenting the data to you guys. But from a personal standpoint, I pretty much put the blinkers on and I go, set and forget. It's so good just to have, products that you sort of set and forget and realize that they just go up in value. Surging Sparks, that, I'm sort of in at 220 Australian, which is about, probably 145 US on average. And it's already it's already 310, 315 Australian. It's nearly $100 up per booster box. But set and forget, that's my philosophy on it. It's going to get older, it's going to get rarer, and it's going to be worth more. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch everyone next time.